I am 82 years old, and I know the exact moment the panic sets in. It is not a sudden accident. It happens at 3 in the morning when you swing your legs over the cold edge of the mattress and realize you are terrified to stand up. Society tells you this trembling weakness is just the natural rhythm of aging. They tell you to accept the frailness, to eat a small piece of toast for dinner, and to gracefully fade away into the background. I am telling you right now that this widely accepted advice is the exact mechanism actively putting you in a wheelchair. I watched my own strength evaporate, muscle fiber by muscle fiber, until I realized the absolute devastation happening inside my body while I slept. If you do not consume 3 very specific, dense foods before you close your eyes, your body is ruthlessly harvesting your remaining muscle just to keep your heart beating. We are going to stop this nocturnal cannibalism tonight. I need you to stand with me in this fight against becoming a burden. Hit that subscribe button right now. Go into the comments and tell me your age and where you are watching from. Let us build an army of people who refuse to surrender their independence. I want you to picture the edge of your bed. For most of your life, waking up was an automatic process. You opened your eyes, threw off the covers, and simply walked into the day. Now that edge has become a daily negotiation with gravity. You sit there in the dark, feeling the cold floor against your bare feet, and you hesitate. You place your hands flat on the mattress beside your hips, bracing yourself, silently calculating if your thighs have enough raw power left to lift your frame. Your legs feel shockingly light, almost hollow, as if the dense tissue that once carried you has been replaced by brittle, dry wood. This is the horrifying silent reality of losing your physical autonomy. It does not announce itself. It creeps into your life through the smallest, most humiliating concessions. You stop buying the heavy gallon of milk at the grocery store because carrying it to the car makes your forearms ache. You completely avoid the bottom shelf in the pantry because you are not entirely sure you can pull yourself back up from a squatting position. You start eyeing the handrail on your own front porch as a lifeline rather than a convenience. I remember standing in the aisle of a hardware store, staring at a bag of garden soil I used to throw over my shoulder without a second thought. I reached down to grip the plastic, and my fingers simply would not hold the weight. The deep, hot flush of shame that rushed over my face is something I will never forget. I had to walk away and leave it there. The medical community calls this sarcopenia. They use this sterile clinical terminology to describe the aggressive vanishing of your skeletal muscle mass. Sarcopenia. It sounds like a mild inconvenience. What it actually means is the systematic dismantling of your dignity. It means that your own flesh is dissolving, leaving your joints exposed, your balance shattered, and your future entirely dependent on the charity and physical labor of your children. We spend decades working relentlessly, building our homes, securing our finances, fighting to be the providers and the protectors of our families. And then we sit back and watch all of that fierce independence evaporate simply because our legs forget how to hold us upright. The absolute tragedy is that we have been conditioned to blame the calendar. We look at the date we were born, we look at the gray in the mirror, and we simply surrender to the decay. We tell ourselves it is just time taking its toll. But time is not the thief. Time is completely passive. The true cause of your vanishing strength is a biological demolition process that you are actively encouraging every single night. And it begins with the most culturally celebrated, seemingly innocent habit of our later years. Let us brutally examine what happens in your kitchen every evening. The magazines, the television doctors, the well-meaning articles all sing the exact same chorus. They tell you that your digestion slows down as you enter your 70s and 80s. They remind you that you are no longer burning calories like a teenager. The universally accepted conclusion is that you must eat a light, delicate dinner, a small cup of clear soup, a few crackers, perhaps a weak cup of herbal tea to soothe the stomach before you turn off the bedside lamp. It sounds incredibly sensible. It sounds like the responsible, gentle way to treat an aging body. I lived by this exact philosophy for years, genuinely believing I was doing the right thing for my heart and my digestion. I was entirely blind to the fact that I was actively sentencing my own muscles to starvation. Here is the violent, unforgiving biological truth that the cheerful health pamphlets leave out. Your body does not simply power down when you go to sleep. Your internal organs do not take a vacation. Your heart must pump thousands of gallons of blood. Your lungs must continuously expand. Your liver and kidneys must tirelessly filter and clean your system. These massive vital operations require an immense continuous supply of amino acids to repair cellular damage and sustain your life through the dark hours. When you go to sleep on an empty stomach or after eating nothing but a cup of watery broth, you force your body into a desperate fasting state for 10 to 12 hours. Where do you think your physiology gets those critical amino acids when there's absolutely no food in your stomach? It does not manufacture them out of thin air. It takes them by force. It goes directly to your biceps, your shoulders, and your chest. It ruthlessly strips the amino acids from your quadriceps and your calves. Your body literally begins to consume its own skeletal muscle tissue to keep your vital organs functioning until morning. Every single night that you practice this light dinner routine, you are willingly sacrificing the exact muscle fibers you will desperately need to stand up from a chair the next day. You are actively trading your physical freedom for a piece of dry toast. We are told to eat like fragile birds precisely at the age when our biology requires robust, dense protein just to survive the night without cannibalizing itself. Before I outline the exact nutritional protocol that stops this nightly destruction and the 3 specific foods that build an iron fortress around your muscles, I have organized all of my research into a single comprehensive guide. I have documented the precise timing, the exact nutritional ratios, and the functional movements that saved me from the wheelchair. Look at the pinned comment immediately below this video. Click the link and secure your copy of this master guide. It is the tactical blueprint for keeping your independence. Now, force yourself to visualize the horror of this nocturnal cycle. You lie in your bed covered in blankets thinking you are resting, but inside your body is a demolition zone. It is tearing down the scaffolding of your legs to harvest raw materials. You wake up feeling incredibly stiff, weak, and brittle. You blame it on a bad mattress or the damp weather. You never suspect that your polite, sensible dinner is the architect of your ruin. As we age, our bodies develop profound anabolic resistance. We become remarkably inefficient at using protein. The small piece of fish you ate at lunchtime is completely irrelevant to your muscles by midnight. If you do not aggressively intervene with specific heavy fortifications before you sleep, you will continue to shrink night after night until the inevitable fall takes everything from you. The salvation of your physical autonomy does not come from a pharmaceutical laboratory. It does not come from an expensive synthetic hormone replacement therapy. And it certainly does not come from the flimsy plastic exercise gadgets they sell on late-night television. The solution is blunt, primitive, and entirely rooted in nutritional science. You must forcibly halt the nightly harvest of your own flesh. You must put an impenetrable chemical lock on your muscle tissue before you close your eyes. And you do this through the strategic consumption of slow digesting protein. Let me make this incredibly clear. If you eat a piece of lean chicken or drink a standard whey protein shake, your digestive system handles it rapidly. It floods your blood with amino acids, repairs immediate damage, and then completely vanishes from your system in about 2 hours. This leaves you completely unprotected for the remaining 6 to 8 hours of the night, throwing you right back into the devastating cannibalistic cycle. You need a protein source that fights back. You need a dense, heavy substance that coagulates in your stomach acid, forming a literal gel that takes agonizingly long hours to break down. This slow drip mechanism feeds your body a continuous, uninterrupted line of amino acids while you are deep in REM sleep. I rely on 3 specific non-negotiable foods to create this nocturnal armor. The first is heavy, full-fat cottage cheese, not the watery, fat-free version that tastes like cardboard. The dense, thick curd that is absolutely packed with pure casein protein. When you consume a heavy bowl of this 30 minutes before sleep, it sits in your digestive tract like a brick of pure biological defense. While your brain signals the body to go searching for amino acids, it finds this heavy supply waiting in the stomach, and it leaves your precious leg muscles entirely alone. The second food is thick, unflavored Greek yogurt. Again, we are not looking for sugar-filled, fruit-flavored desserts. We are using this as a medical intervention. The sheer density of the concentrated dairy protein creates a sustained release that lasts until the morning sun comes up. The third option for those who cannot tolerate dairy under any circumstances is a high-quality, pure casein isolate powder mixed into a dense paste with water and a spoonful of almond butter. The fat slows the digestion down even further, creating a heavy matrix that your body must work tirelessly to process. This is not about culinary delight. This is not a midnight snack to satisfy a sweet tooth. You must completely shift your perspective. This is raw material. This is the mortar and the brick required to keep your house from collapsing. When I first started this protocol, eating a heavy bowl of cottage cheese right before bed felt fundamentally wrong. It violated every polite rule I had ever been taught about digestion and sleep. It felt heavy. But biology does not care about societal etiquette. Biology only responds to chemistry. Within a week of implementing this heavy nocturnal feeding, the brutal, paralyzing stiffness in my legs began to evaporate. The terrifying hollow feeling when I swung my feet onto the floor in the morning was replaced by a solid, grounded sensation. My body was no longer starving in the dark. It was finally repairing. By forcing these 3 specific foods into my evening routine, I completely stopped the bleeding. I stopped losing my strength into the mattress. But stopping the decay is only the foundational step. Once you protect the muscle from being harvested, you must ruthlessly force it to remember its purpose. You have now secured the chemical perimeter. You have stopped the relentless, invisible decay of your flesh. But muscle tissue is incredibly pragmatic and utterly unforgiving. If you do not demand that it works against the downward force of gravity, it will still shrink and die from simple neglect. I am not suggesting you join a chaotic, brightly lit commercial gym filled with mirrors and heavy iron plates. That is an intimidating, unnecessary fantasy that stops most people our age from ever taking action. Your battlefield is much more intimate and infinitely more important. Your gym is your living room. Your resistance equipment is your own body weight. The movements that will save you from a nursing home are entirely functional and designed to conquer your greatest daily fears. Think about that edge of the bed. Think about the deep armchair that feels like a quicksand trap. These are your new training grounds. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up and consume your first meal, you are going to stand directly in front of that treacherous armchair. You are going to slowly, meticulously lower your body down, fighting gravity for every single inch of the descent. You will not allow yourself to simply drop or collapse into the cushion. And the precise millisecond you feel the fabric touch the back of your legs, you are going to drive your heels violently into the floor and stand straight back up. You will not rock back and forth to gain momentum. You will absolutely not use your hands or the armrest to assist you. You are going to demand pure, unfiltered power from your quadriceps and your glutes. The first time you attempt this, your nervous system will panic. Your knees will shake violently. Your breath will become shallow. A loud, terrified voice in your head will scream at you to just sit back down and accept the comfort. You must silence that voice immediately. That voice is the architect of your wheelchair. Fight through the trembling. Perform this movement 5 times in a row, then rest. You will repeat this incredibly basic, brutally hard action every single day. You are sending a desperate, undeniable neurological command to your body. We need this tissue to survive. Do not let it disappear. We pair this with the countertop push. You stand an arm's length away from your heavy kitchen counter. You lean forward, catching your weight on your hands, and you push your entire body back to a strict vertical position. We are meticulously reconstructing the precise upper body strength you need to push open a heavy medical office door or catch yourself if you trip on the edge of a carpet. You are building physical armor for the real world. You are standing at a profound crossroads right now. You can turn this off. Go make your weak cup of herbal tea, eat your dry cracker, and quietly resign yourself to a shrinking, terrifying existence. You can accept the deeply humiliating fate of watching your children look at you with pity as they help you out of a chair. Or you can get aggressively, unapologetically stubborn. You can feed your body the dense, heavy casein protein it needs to survive the night. You can push your heels into the floor until your legs finally remember what it feels like to carry your weight with absolute authority. Look at those walking shoes gathering dust in the hallway. Put them on. Reclaim your physical space. Refuse to be a burden to the people who love you. You have so much life left to live on your own terms, but you have to declare war on frailty tonight. Stop accepting the comfortable lies. Stop making excuses and get to work.